We're the Animal Stories news team anchormen. Here's me, your charming and delightful old Uncle Lair. And there's him in person, little snot-nosed Tommy. Hi, Tommy.
Hi. Hi, Uncle Lair. Hi, everybody.
Python attacks Pekingese. Little Tommy, that's a top story this morning. Plus, we'll have the answer to this question. What do you do when your chinchillas get constipated? Dateline, Durban, South Africa. Says here, little Tommy, that a suburban couple thought their maid was joking when she told them that a snake was eating their dog. But sure enough, they changed their mind real quick when they went out into the backyard and found this Pekingese in the mouth of a 9-foot python.
Good grief.
It was a nightmare for him, little Tommy.
Sounds like it.
Wasn't any picnic for the Pekingese either.
Is he going to be okay, Uncle Lair?
As a matter of fact, no, he's not, little Tommy. It says a woman said her husband jumped on the snake's back while she pried open the jaws, and then the maid pulled this whining Pekingese out. Pekingese are such wimpy dogs. You know, just because they're getting swallowed by a python, they start whining. He was still alive when they got him out of the python's mouth, little Tommy.
Yeah?
But shortly afterwards, he went into shock and passed away.
Python going to be okay, Uncle Lair?
Python's going to be fine. He slithered away into the jungle. They told the authorities about it. They reported this incident, but the authorities warned them that if they saw that snake again, they could not harm it because pythons are on the protected wildlife list.
Pekingese aren't, I imagine, huh?
No, lots of them. There's a very interesting article here about chinchilla raising. Now then, this is a subject for today's animal story quiz, little Tommy, and that is, what do you give a chinchilla for constipation? I'll give you a hint, little Tommy. it's a fruit. And you have 5 seconds for a shiny new dime. Good luck to you.
How about a prune?
No, that's very close. So you give them
Raisins.
That's it.
Hey, that's awful close. I think I should get it.
That's how a chinchilla spells relief. R-A-I-S-E-N, raisin. Or is it O-N?
How about A-I?
I don't know. Well, there was this Chicago woman who was mad at this guy because several years ago she thought this guy had stolen her dog. So to get even with him, she was bent on revenge here. She kidnapped his parrot. Then, it says here, killed the parrot, cooked it, and fed it to her 96-year-old grandmother.
She grabbed his bird, she cooked it, and fed it to her grandmother?
That's right, little Tommy.
my
Parrot's name, the late parrot, his name Arturo, was a Panamanian parrot who was said to speak 3 languages.
Oh, my gosh.
And ate scrambled eggs, rice, and potatoes. Very strange parrot. Said he spoke Spanish when the guy first bought him a couple of years ago, and then subsequently learned English, Italian, and a few German phrases before his untimely death. No comment from the grandmother as to how he tasted. Here's a great story from Newbury Park, California. Guy was pumping gas at his gas station when this car drove in. Man got out with this big German Shepherd, little Tommy. Said his dog was attack trained, and unless the guy handed over the money from the cash register, he was going to order his dog to attack the guy. The guy wasn't afraid, though, little Tommy. He just punched the German Shepherd in the mouth. Punched his German Shepherd right in the mouth, chipped his tooth, and the dog ran away. And the robber got into his car and fled. kind of beat the attack dog to the draw. I'll bet when that robber got home and his dog came home later. See, the guy just jumped in his car and deserted his dog. His dog had to make it home by himself. I'll bet when he got home, he was really mad at his dog. There are bureau chiefs for the greater Wakarusa metropolitan area. You ever heard of Wakarusa?
No,
India?
no.
Me neither. It's a little bitty town. They sent me a copy of front page of a couple editions of their Wakarusa paper. It's just a little bitty paper for a little bitty town.
Is there a second page to the paper?
Yeah. Yeah, the second page is on the back of the first page, Tommy. And this is one of those little bitty papers where, geez, it's, in a place like Wakarusa, there's no news. Mm-hmm. They got to fill it up with something. Stories about a cow here made the front page. Mm. There's some other interesting stories here on the front page, too, about the big maple syrup festival that's coming up in Wakarusa.
When is that?
That's March 28th and 29th for you tourists who happen to be in the area. If you think some of the stories on page 1 are dumb, you ought to see page 2.
Is it the sports pages?
Well, on the front page here is this story about this cow. Now, this is registered cow, one of those real classy things. His name is Contented Linda Grace. See, a lot of purebred animals, registered cows, thoroughbred horses, purebred dogs, got names half a block long, Reason they got those long names is because when they're registered, a lot of times they incorporate the names of the mother and father and half their ancestors in their name, Mm-hmm. Now, it was different when I was growing up on a farm. We didn't have any classy registered cows. We just had regular old cows with regular old names.
Brownie, Susie.
Yeah. Had one real ugly cow. We called her Horseface. We had another cow called Old One Eye. Old One Eye had an accident with some barbed wire.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, on with this story about, this cow named Contented Linda Grace. It says here on the front page, Contented Linda Grace, a dairy heifer owned by Dean Engelmeyer, son of Mr. and Mrs. Lowell Engelmeyer, has been declared the best 4-H dairy animal in its age class in the world.
Wow.
Dean was notified Monday that his heifer has been judged Junior All-American by Holstein World Magazine, meaning that she was judged the best of 6 animals nominated for the top world honor. By virtue of the world distinction earned by the heifer, her picture will be on the All-American Holstein 1980 calendar, which will be distributed throughout the world.
Wow.
Now, this is on the front page, and this happened on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in the next edition, also on the front page, the following story. Contented Linda Grace, the dairy heifer just declared the best 4-H dairy animal in its age class in the world, died Tuesday morning in the barn at the farm of Mr. and Mrs. Lowell Engelmeyer.
What happened?
I mean, she got this big award Monday, checked out Tuesday.
Too much for her.
Doesn't say exactly what happened here, little Tommy. Says veterinarians were called to the farm, pronounced the heifer dead.
Yep,
I don't know.
Dead.
I don't know why you have to call the vets to pronounce a heifer dead. I mean, whenever one of our cows died, we just looked at it and said, hey, that cow's dead all right. We didn't have to call no vet. They
That'll
said
be $22.50, please.
They said no autopsy was performed.
Uh-huh.
But, this is really tragic, little Tommy. It's a blow not only to the Engelmeyers, but to the entire community because, every community needs something to be proud of.
Sure.
Like French Lick, Indiana's got Larry Bird.
That's right.
And for one day, these people in Wakarusa could hold their heads high and say, hey, we have the best Holstein heifer in the world. And the next day, they had nothing. It's tragic. I think it would be appropriate now if we paused for a moment of silence, little Tommy, out of respect for the memory of this great Holstein heifer that gave her life for no apparent reason. So we'll pause now. I hope they could still put her on the calendar, though, I think. Just have a shot of her with all four legs sticking straight up in the air and maybe a couple of buzzards circling overhead.
She was good while she lasted.
Well, Tommy, you have probably often wondered why camels can go so long without water.
Oh, I know that. They stick the water up there in the hump.
No, they don't.
Oh.
That's a common fallacy. All that's in that hump, little Tommy, is fat.
Oh.
This is very educational here. Scientists have been studying this for 30 years, trying to figure out how come camels can go for such long periods in the desert without water. And they've been doing some experiments on camels around the Dead Sea in Israel. Well, they found out. It's because camels have this great big huge membrane in their nose. Now see, okay, you look up my nose.
It's not their humps?
No, it's not, little Tommy.
What do they use the humps for?
I don't know.
What do you want?
You look up my nose.
Okay.
Little Tommy. Now, you see a membrane up there. It's only about in your average human nose.
Way up there, yeah.
Only covers about 4 7/10 square inches, while if you looked up a camel's nose, their membrane totals nearly 400 square inches.
Wow.
So, you see, that acts as kind of a one-way valve. It moistens the dry desert air as they inhale it into their lungs, but then it holds back the moisture when the air is exhaled. See, now, when I breathe in and out, I'm losing a lot of moisture there.
Got a Kleenex?
But the camel's got that huge membrane and doesn't let the moisture out, and that's how come they can, they save about 68% of the moisture.
How about that?
Way, see?
What's that membrane called?
It's called a camel's nose membrane.
Oh, that's the scientific name?
Yeah. Well, that's all the time we have for Animal Stories this morning, boys and girls. Tune in again at this same time tomorrow for more.
Can I stop looking up your nose now?
Yeah, it might be a good idea, little Tommy.